I had a preacher friend of mine. He was a holiness preacher, very good guy. He married a woman who had lost 2 of her husbands. He told me something very strange. People didn't know this. He said the first week they married, he saw himself fighting with this huge snake in his garden. They were fighting. But he said he didn't overcome the snake, and the snake didn't overcome him by default. Few years after, I heard that he was having issues with women sleeping around. And I tried to engage him, and I realized that because they couldn't kill him, they have to investigate the bloodline and find something in the bloodline that they can activate to use it to destroy the marriage. Cut a long story short, after some few years, the marriage didn't work, and the lady became single again. What was the problem here? She's not meant to marry. She's designed by a programming from her bloodline not to marry. So whoever marries that woman, you have to be very anointed and strong in the spirit to be able to override that snake. If you are not strong and anointed and you marry her, that snake will do you in. He will. I had another friend. He said, Nick, pray with me. Anytime I have a business idea to do something and I tell my wives, as soon as I tell my wife, the whole thing fails. So I said, stop telling her. And so he stopped telling her things, and things were moving. Why? Because there was something working against her to make sure that her husband becomes a failure. When you go to America, you find so many African American men in prison, in jail. And if you look at it carefully, you realize that there are some women, if you marry them, you will either fail or you go to prison or you die prematurely. I'm just telling you. You can look at me any way I'm a spiritual man. I've seen things and I know things. And there are some men too, when you marry them, if you are not prayerful, some things will happen to you that you will ask yourself, what happened? But it's because something is following them to make sure they fail. I've seen situations. I was dealing with a friend of mine in California, and we were praying for him in Ghana here. And I called him. I said, has anybody in your bloodline killed somebody before? He said, I can't talk on the phone. When are you coming to California? And I said, I'll let you know. So I flew to California. He picked me up. We went for a drive. He said, my grandfather killed somebody in the plantation. He shot him and killed him. But he was very, very wealthy, so they didn't touch him. They let him go. And he said, it bothers me a lot. And he said, but why did you ask? I said, that blood is still crying for vengeance. And I said, you need to do something about the cry of that blood, because he's demanding vengeance.